take the headphones off. Sorry, I took a little break. But, I was thinking about what to make this next video about, because I wanted to make the second one. And just looking back on today, it's like, you know, the universe works in mysterious ways. It's just actually me saying something that a good friend of mine said. And, it's just little things, mostly, that just seem too coincidental and, you know, I believe too much to say that they're just happenings. And this is the example I'll give. Start out by saying, as of right now, the only way I can get more broke is if I buy a pack of gum. And the only thing that I could buy is a pack of gum. And that's the only thing that would make me more broke than I am. Luckily payday is Friday. But it's one of those things where, you know, scrape up money, and I smoke, and scrape up the money to buy a pack of cigarettes. And normally I smoke natural American spirits, which in Maryland, thanks to Martin O'Malley, who is a big old piece of liberal trash, he's done nothing but raise taxes, and one of them was that he raised the tax on a pack of cigarettes by $1. So, it cost me, you know, usually about $6.50, $6.70 a pack for natural American spirits, and honestly, I was about $1 short. So, I broke down and bought a pack of Camel Menthols, you know, because I normally smoke the Creek blend, which, just a quick lesson on that, it's basically, it's not basically, it is the rarest form of tobacco in the world, and it's only grown in Louisiana. And what they do is, instead of aging it, they pack it in old whiskey barrels and put pressure on it to force ferment the tobacco, and they just put a little bit of it in with a Virginia blend tobacco, and it's my favorite one, and that's what I smoke. So anyway, break down, buy a pack of Camel Menthols, and I get to school, and all day people are just bumming them off me. And by the time everything's said and done with, from, you know, it was probably about 11 o'clock in the morning when I bought the pack, to like 4:30 in the afternoon, I was down to 2 cigarettes, because I bummed out probably 10. And it was one of those things where it was like, fuck, you know, I'm shit out of luck. I'm gonna have to go a day, and that's gonna be a shitty day for me, because many of you know what that's like, obviously, and I'm sure you've heard. But I was one of those things where I, you know, didn't have them, was gonna save them for tomorrow, and out of the blue, my friend asked me to, you know, he asked me if I want him to buy me a pack of cigarettes. And I was like, yeah, I'll get you back when I get paid. He was just like, just don't worry about it. So out of nowhere, you know, he just buys me a pack of cigarettes. And that was, in and of itself, I think that's proof enough that karma, you know, is working. Or if not karma, that, you know, you just call it by a simpler name and call it energy. And that's alive, well, and working in a pivotal part of, you know, the universe. And there's another thing another little quote from a good friend said, reciprocity makes the world go around. And that's really true, and even more so, thinking more specifically, I had one guy come up to me, bum a cigarette, I gave him one, and then his friend came up and had cigarettes, and they were non-menthols, and the guy bummed cigarettes was like, give him one, because he just gave me one, pay him back, whatever. So he gives me a non-menthol, and sitting up underneath a tree on a hill, and I'm with a couple girls, and one of them asks bum a cigarette and goes to take the non-menthol one, and I told her not to, I don't know why. Didn't make any difference to me what I was smoking, honestly, at that point, because I wasn't smoking what I wanted to be smoking. So, for some reason, I tell her no, and she just takes one of the menthols. And then I have a real good friend comes up, and he's like, can I bum a cigarette? He's coming down, he's, he got bills to pay, and he's out of work, and he's, obviously, sure, why not? And he was like, do you have any non-menthols? When he saw the pack, I flipped it open, got the one non-menthol in there. So, for some unknown reason, I inherited this non-menthol cigarette, didn't bum it out to someone who normally smoked Camel menthols anyway, and then, a good friend comes up and wants a non-menthol, and I have it. And it's just one of those things, it's like amazing how something just little and simple like that can, I guess, remind you that, things will come back to you. And that, if you put your own personal, I guess, greeds aside for the sake of the universe won't forget that. And it'll pay you back. And also that, I guess, not to say the cliche things happen for a reason, but that's the best way of, I guess, putting it. That things do happen in a certain way for a reason. And, there's Grateful Dead song, I need a miracle every day. And let me tell you, I've had days where I probably didn't seem a miracle. And I've had days where I've gotten ones that, it was a miracle. I went to All Good this year, and it was one of those things where it came down to the day I was leaving, I found out that the people I was going with weren't going to be able to go because of something at work. And I was calling around frantic, couldn't get a hold of anybody. Finally got a hold of somebody, wasn't planning on going. He had talked about it casually, and he was just like, alright, drops $300, $200 on the ticket, $100 in spending money. Goes up there with me, had a blast, planning on, all sort of what we're going to do next year, how we can do it better, the whole 9 yards. And it was one of those things where I had been looking forward to this since February. I had been thinking about doing it since All Good it was 7 when I found out about that lineup. That's how long it's been. And it was just, that was one of my supreme miracles, honestly, that went through. And I think that's just something to be said for, karma, energy, the universe working in a certain way, whatever it may be.